Welcome back to the Jedi Learning Show, family. This is your host, Bobby Kin 2, and as you already know, we resurrect communities through superior education because anyone can learn to learn. Today, we're going to be talking about freeing yourself from the digital domain. 3 Jedi secrets to freeing yourself from that digital domain. We've had some very, very disturbing issues regarding this digital domain over the last few weeks, months, years, and today it's hit a culmination. This one really hit me hard because over the weekend, as you guys already probably know, in Florida, once again, not only adding to the school shooting, not only adding to the Pulse nightclub shooting, but now you have a Madden tournament that got shot up. The reason this hits me hard is because, of course, growing up, I played a lot of Madden. The brothers who got took out look just like me. Matter of fact, I want to pour one out and say, shade to Elijah Taylor. He was one of the young brothers that lost his life in that unfortunate event by another person, shooter who fits the profile, was on SSRIs, had been hospitalized for so-called psychiatric illnesses, and once again went there and took everybody out, or took a few people out with 2 handguns. I'm not here to get into the details of that particular shooting, but that is what brought me here today. It's a real life story, and it touched and impacted a lot of people who I know. The point of today is because of that, people have gotten so involved in this e-game. If you know about the e-games, these are games where people compete, such as in Madden, such as in Battlefield, such as in Call of Duty, for prize money. Now, this is $1 million prize money. This is no joke anymore. These are turning into the new sports, okay? Going into this digital arena, this digital time, even sports are going to be digitized, and they're not going to be humans running around anymore. It's going to be people controlling the avatars, just like what happened at Madden. But when you spend too much time in this false reality, you can lose sense of what is real and what's not. And as a result of that, you have situations like this. Could that have been avoided? Of course. Could we do something different? Of course. And you're here to learn those things today. Now, we got the Instagram family over there at home. We have the other family here, and we have the main family right in front of us. But the Jedis, they know the real information, and they're going to be picking it up. As you may have noticed, we did drop a brand new blog post over the weekend. I want to make sure you guys see it. Freeing yourself from the digital domain. 3 secrets, okay? Jedi secrets at that. I want to make sure everybody gets a good look at this because you're going to go to JediLearning.com, go into the blog section, and download this so you can follow along with the science that we're about to drop. Now, without any further ado, let's get into it. The time is now. If any of you remember, last year, October, we hit 10-10-10. 10-10-10, that is October 10th, 2017. Now you may need to figure out how to get to 10 from 2017. Let's do it together. 2017, 2017. 2 plus 0 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 7 is 10. 10, 10, 10. So what's the point? That's the digital domain. 1s and 0s, binary code. So what? That means we have entered a dimension of nothing but digital. You have to now embrace it. Be comfortable going in and out of that digital domain. And we're going to talk today about how to free yourself completely from it if you need to know how. Now, remember the Matrix movies, they were able to go in and out of the Matrix, which is what you're going to have to learn how to do now, and that's what we're going to learn a little bit about. Now, you might say, that sounds a little strange to me if you're not familiar with the gematria, time zones, alternate dimensions. But watch this. After 10-10-10, on 12/14/2017, an announcement was made that net neutrality will be repealed. Okay? What happened as a result of that? Certain websites are now going to be restricted. Tiered services are coming out, which means you're going to have to pay more for faster internet, access to more websites, and to have your speed at an acceptable rate. Not only that, but you're not going to be able to go to certain sites that give you certain information that you used to have access to because of what they call hate speech or freedom of speech or any of these type of things. So you may have gone to a page where brother might have been cussing or talking about some things that weren't PC or politically correct. That's going to be wrapped up, or you have to pay a lot of money to get to those particular sites. But for the children who spend most of their day on it, even the millennials, even the Xennials and the Generation Xers who spend tons of time in this digital domain, they're going to now have to know how to get in and get out. So without any further ado, let's talk about how you do that. So let's go back to freeing yourself from that digital domain. Make sure you pick this up, okay? The digital doorway is now opened. We talked about 10-10-10 being the binary code, and I actually take it one step further. I want you to Google, or just search. I shouldn't even say that word. That's a bad word. Just search for pictures of watches. Now, when you get those pictures of the watches, what I want you to do is take a look at the time on those watches. About 90% of the time, what you'll find is that the watch is set to 10-10. I'm not going to get into the significance of what that means now, but as you can see, there's more to it than what we're talking about here today. Another domain that we're going into, which is the digital one. It's opened up and we've passed on through it. Now, how do you navigate this domain? Where people are doing almost everything online nowadays, from shopping to loving to hating to finding a mate to joining social groups to social support groups. People are spending increasingly more time in this particular domain. So how can I unplug a little bit so I can just relax, or so I'm just not trapped all the time, or so they're not suggesting stuff to me that's going to eat up more of my time? How do I do that? Number one, if you have young people in your home, one of the first things you want to do, I'm going to break it down to you right here. Djedi secret number one, establish media-free times and zones. That means times of the day where there's no access to media or screens, and also certain zones in your house or anywhere else where there's no access to screens or media. But you as the adult, you as the parent, you as the model are going to have to be the one to say, no, I'm also going to tap out. If you're going to expect them to tap out, you have to tap out. That means free of everything. No phones, no checking messages, no checking IGs, no checking Facebooks, Twitters, none of it. YouTube. It's a time for everybody to get together and converse like human beings. Okay? So, I got a tool for you, as a matter of fact. Go ahead and go to the American Society for Pediatrics and download their media use tool. It is excellent. It helps you and your family establish what media-free times and what media-free zones are appropriate for you. It's hard to say a blanket statement such as no more than an hour a day, no more than 12 hours a day, because that doesn't work for everybody, especially if you got to do some work or some homework inside the digital domain. But we can set some limits based on your particular situation. That's why you need to go download that particular tool. And I do endorse that particular tool. Okay, so make sure you go pick that up. If you want to know where to find it, you're going to have to download Free Yourself from the Digital Domain, 3 Djedi Secrets. And in the back, like always, we've got our resources and links to help you find whatever it is that you need. So, when we get back to what we was talking about here, for the one thing that you can do, establish those media-free times and zones. Parents and adults are going to have to be better models. Their media use can also disrupt relationships between children. It can also interrupt their unstructured and undigital playtime. So if they want to get involved in activities, or if they want to get involved in going outside, maybe if you're on Facebook or if you are on Tinder or whatever you're doing, you may not have time to dedicate to helping them seek out those opportunities. So turn it off, okay? One thing you can do as an adult is just don't allow those notifications to come through to your phone. Those little red bubbles that pop up, get those out of here. Just go into your settings, and if it says push notifications on that particular app, turn it off, okay? You don't need it. Red means bullseye. They got a target on you every time those pop up, because guess where your attention goes? Right down there. So not only can you help your children to unplug, help the young ones to unplug, but you have to be a better model, okay? Don't expect them to do something that you're not willing to do. So set up those media-free times and zones. I'll even call them screen-free times and zones so we don't get it confused. So that's Jedi secret number one. Establish those times and zones where you're not tapped into the digital domain, where everybody is going to be out at the same time, okay? Number one. Let's continue. Block the blue light. I cannot stress this one enough. If anybody doesn't know about the blue light has been, wow, you wouldn't even believe me if I told you. But blue lights have been known to manipulate behavior not only in worms, but also in humans. What kind of blue light am I going to be afraid of, or should I be avoiding? Cutting off the media use an hour before bed is significant, okay? So that is another secret. That's a little hint I'm going to drop for you. Cut off that phone, cut off that pad, cut off that screen an hour at least before you go to bed. Why is that? The devices, the screens are emitting blue light as well. That particular blue light interrupts with the production of your pineal gland of the sleep-causing hormone melatonin. If it's disrupting your melatonin, as a result, your melanin, you're not going to be able to reach the certain levels that you need to reach. So, turn that blue light off. Because you're not getting the right melatonin, you're not able to go to sleep. You're not able to go to sleep, you're not able to concentrate, you're not able to remember anything, and you're not your best. Your immune system is getting tore down, okay? You're feeling toe up all the time. You just don't feel like you can do things. You can take it to that next level. And it's all because of a blue light. You look in the hoods where you see these trains. You see a lot of action going on where it's criminal activity. Check out, you'll see some blue lights flashing, okay? You can do tons of research on the blue light. But once again, go ahead and pick up our latest article, and you will find information on why you should cut off the blue lights emitting from your devices that are already in your home at least an hour before bed. Especially if you want to save the pineal gland, your third eye, the eye of Haru, the Ben stone, the Ujat. It goes by many, many names. But everybody knows its significance. If you want to cut out fluoride in your toothpaste, you better cut out the blue lights that's emitting from these devices. Very, very simple. Okay. So, also, the 17 through 13 and the 14 through 18-year-old age groups, check this out, are at higher risk of developing diagnosable disorders such as problematic internet use and gaming disorder. Now, these are fairly new. They really just came out over the last couple of months, but the point is, you're now going to qualify as a person with a disability or a handicapping condition because of this digital domain, meaning you can now have what's called problematic internet use disorder or a gaming disorder. We specialize that here at Jedi Learning because we know how important it is for people to unplug and be able to navigate both the inside and the outside of that digital domain. So if you look in your new DSM, Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, which I think we got back here. Where's it at? In fact, here it goes right here. It ain't in this one, but it's going to make its way in there. The ICD, the International Classification for Diseases, number 11 is about to come out. It's going to align this with that. This is governing most of the United States. The ICD is international, so they have to be lined up. That then goes down into your special ed and everything else. Anything else having to do with disability. So this is no joke. It's coming hard, it's coming heavy, and you have to be prepared, and that's why you're tuning in right now. So let's continue. Protect your connect. You might be asking yourself, what can I do to get some help? I bought this phone for my child, or this pad, or this device, computer, whatever it may be, and now I can't unplug them from it. I don't want to damage my relationship by taking it from them, but then again, I don't want them to be too consumed with this social engineering media, because yes, the adolescent age does spend too much time. As a matter of fact, about, I would say, actually higher than that, about 80% of what we call millennials are constantly connected. Okay, that means that they're always connected on some type of device. When you get a little bit lower, you get about 70 or so percent of these adolescents that have at least one site that they go to constantly, whether it be Facebook, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Twitter, whether it be Tinder, whether it be Ashley Madison, the list goes on and on. And even less than that have multiple. I would say maybe about 40% or so have multiple sites that they own. So they're constantly connected on 3 or 4, Snapchat, Facebook Messenger, QQ. It continues. Why is that a problem? Well, it's a problem because they don't have any interaction with other human beings. They're living a sedentary lifestyle, which is going to cause obesity. And here's another problem. The primary promoters of liquor and drugs are coming through Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. So if your child is on these particular social engineering media sites, or I call them Sahu engineering media sites, because they're controlling your soul. The Sahu is an ancient African word for the soul. It is literally manipulating you at the genetic level. So you have to be able to unplug, just so you can interact appropriately, so you can run around. And let's say a lot of advertising comes through about food. Okay, obesity now becomes a problem. And especially for children who are considered, actually I'm not going to use that word, children of African descent, Hispanic descent, American Indian, Native Americans. All of them are predisposed to a problem of obesity because they're going to sit in front of a TV screen or any type of screen where there's tons of advertisements for food. Now, this is how the manipulation goes. You're eating food. You're seeing videos about food. Your brain is now telling you you're not full, so your satiation cues are all messed up now. So you continue to eat more. So it changes the relationship between your own brain telling you that you're hungry, which is your hypothalamus, and your own body's ability to recognize hunger. Because guess what? You think you're still hungry just because you're seeing food on the screen. And that's how they get you. That's how the obesity starts at a very, very young age. That's how the heart problems stop. That's why they're always getting sick, because their immune system is told, because the blue lights are interrupting their sleep, and because they're sitting there all day, getting fat, heart disease, and obesity because they're watching too many videos. And guess what? Videos about food, particularly. Mac nasties, taco nasties, Jack and the nasties, all of them. It doesn't matter which one it is. Okay? What you have to do is get them out there. Prioritize unstructured playtime, which means do whatever you want to do. Like my dad used to tell us, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. Turn that shit off and get outside. That's what they told me all the time. I used to hate that, but guess what? Now I'm so grateful that they just cut it off on me. So don't be afraid to get up there and just turn it off on them. Just unplug. Okay, they might be mad at you for a minute, but what's even worse is if you tapped into Facebook so long and so much that you don't even have a relationship with your child anyway. Okay, that's even worse. So, we're doing good on time too. Let's continue. Just want to do a small recap. Okay. As a matter of fact, here's another little piece. Children of Hispanic descent watch or listen to more music than anybody on their screens or devices. But children of African descent text, talk, surf the web more than any other people on the planet. So they are more susceptible to obesity, more susceptible to manipulation by blue lights and interruption of sleep, damaging the pineal gland, interrupting the production of melatonin, melanin, and sleep. They're all at the risk of that. So cut it down. And one good rule that I will give you is no more than an hour and a half of media use or screen time daily. Daily. Okay, that doesn't mean an hour and a half before they go to school, an hour and a half when they get off. Period. Okay? Mark it off. From 0 to 2 years old, they shouldn't be watching anything. They shouldn't have any screens because there's no use for it at that age. Research that has been done that if you go ahead and download the 3 secrets to unlocking yourself from the digital domain from the Jedi Learning websites, you can go into our resource and find out exactly the article that discusses that. And what it says is 0 through 2 should not have access to anything digital because they don't have symbolic memory. They don't have attention to be paying attention to anything on the screen anyway. which means they're not going to remember anything. But at the age of about 15 months, it does start to seep in and manipulate their behavior. Even though they may not be able to pay attention to it, they still can sing along, they can hum, they can remember words, colors, phrases. So be very, very careful. It's not a good teaching tool at that age, and they shouldn't be tapping in at all. When they get about 3, from about 3 to let's say about 7 years old, only educational materials, okay? Quality educational, not just singing the same song over and over again until people fall asleep, but quality educational materials that keeps them interactive, and always watch it with them. That's another thing to modeling appropriate behavior. You got to be there to interpret the messages that they're getting, the symbols that they're seeing, okay? You will find, if you just look at commercials, you'll always keep seeing the word magic. This magical taste. It'll bring magic into your life. The happiest magical place on earth. But what you need to do is tell them and break down to them what real magic is. We will get into that, and we have gotten to that on JediLearning.com, but today is not the day. So make sure you are watching so you can interpret the sexual innuendos that you find in Disney and Marvel movies, the subtle hints of racism in those particular types of shows, any type of, let's just say, things that are out of bounds for your family. You need to be the one to interpret, because guess what? If you don't, I bet you that digital domain will. I bet you their friends will. I bet you the school will. So you got to sit down. You got to turn yours off, unconnect, so that you aren't doing what I call skissing your children. What is skissing? Screen dissing. You on your screen, somebody trying to talk to you, and your responses, if you respond at all, don't have nothing to do with this person is asking you. So they say, so how your mama doing? You might respond, yeah, they made a new Obama Street too, and I think my mama gonna live off of it. What are you talking about? Oh, I was just reading this article, right? Well, put it down so we can talk, okay? How about just 5 seconds so you can get right back to that article. So you need to establish rules around, once again, skissing. Don't want to skiss people, because that will damage the relationship, okay? You better off saying, this is a media-free time, media-free zone. We're about to have dinner right now. That's the time. And the dinner table is the zone. Everybody put their stuff in this bag, just like if you go into a Dave Chappelle concert. I'm going to lock it up so you can't have access to it until we are complete, or until that time is up, okay? So these are just some little hints. Also, if you guys watch the series Black Mirror, which I highly encourage that you do, there is an episode called Archangel, where a parent uses an app to try to track their child's behavior in this new digital world. Everything goes haywire, and I'm not going to tell you what the story is, but it doesn't have a happy ending. Now, we did some research to try to find some apps just like that. Maybe not the Archangel app, but apps that had some effect on allowing you to track where your children are. What are they watching? And this is anybody. It doesn't have to be a child. Anybody you're dealing with. Where they are, how long they're watching, what videos they're watching. Is it a site? Are they visiting different websites that are known to have hate speech, have phishing problems, which is when older people try to tell younger people that they're their age so they can meet up somewhere, and then they can do whatever they want to do with them. Racism. All of these things you'll find, okay? And you want to be able to find out what sites are promoting this or having it out there. So let me give you a couple of them that I found, and I'll break it down to which ones I thought were useful and which ones weren't. So, Net Nanny. Go check that one out. Net Nanny allows you to do things such as modified profile settings. So if somebody is saying they're 21 when they're really 14, you can go back and change that. Happens all the time. Get one called Cute Studio, or at least look at it. I'm going to break it down a bit more further in a minute. That one allows you to supervise the YouTube's videos watched. So you know if they're watching Young Teen Gets Destroyed by 18-inch Cock or something like that, okay? Continue. Safer Kid. This one allows you to track one remotely and modify their profile settings and track their locations. So you'll know where they're watching what at what time. Okay, that's a lot of W's, but they can help you to set up your media plan. So I did not find any of them to be particularly useful by the reviews that I read. But if you have specific needs, you might want to try one out just for that specific thing. But that also leaves an opportunity out there for us who are into app development. Development app that can actually work and help people out in monitoring others' media screen time behavior, because it's needed. So, without any further ado, we want to give you the summary of our latest blog post entitled Free Yourself from the Digital Domain with 3 of these Jedi Secrets. Okay, make sure everybody gets a copy of this. Let me just summarize it up. So, secret number 1, engage with the youth during their media use. Remember, you have to interpret those symbols. You have to make sure you can interpret any innuendos that they might be experiencing. And you have to be there in case you just got to turn something off. Okay? So make sure you're watching it with them and make sure you're not skissing them. Put your device away, media-free times, media-free zones. Which brings us into our next secret, setting consistent limits on when and where they engage with their devices. Go, like I said, I'm just going to give it to you right here. The American Academy of Pediatrics announces new recommendations for children's media use. Go download it because you'll be able to download their tool, which helps you to set up those consistent time limits, helps you set up those consistent space limits so you have media-free, screen-free times and zones. And last but not least, make sure you model good behavior. You're not constantly on your phone. You're not skissing them by swiping and swiping and swiping and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling while they're asking you, pulling on your dress or pulling on your shirt or pulling on your pants. Can I go outside? Can I go play? Can you take me to my basketball game? Anything, okay? Can you just look at me for a second? In my eyes. Look into my eyes and tell me what it is you see. Okay, so go download the article, and I got a bonus for you. Go to JediLearning.com, download the article, and sign up for our free email newsletter. And I will make sure I send you a copy of the Effective Education Practice for the Student of African Descent. It is a phenomenal presentation that we did, along with the ebook. So, if you go down and know that you watched this particular webinar on, once again, freeing yourself from the digital domain with 3 of these Jedi Secrets, you will go ahead and get that bonus prize. So, we're coming to a close. It has been an excellent time. Once again, this is Barbican 2. To all the Jedis out there, keep the backbone erect, keep your Jed pillar straight so that you can walk upright until tomorrow. Remember, we have just passed 10-10-10 to the digital domain, but you have to know how to go in, navigate the inside of the digital domain, and come out of the digital domain. So without any further ado, we hope this has been informative. We hope you can use this information. Make sure you share it with anybody you think it could be useful for. And matter of fact, make sure that you hit us up and let us know if there's anything else you would like us to drop on. Anything else or anybody else you would like us to collaborate with who also might have some like-minded potential to put on some good information out there for the family and the Jedis out there. So, keep growing. We're resurrecting communities through superior education. Visit JediLearning.com, DJEDI Learning.com. And remember, anyone can learn to learn.